Thanks for joining us on the media review segment of the program. Like I said earlier, we are not done with the topic regulating irresponsible journalism. And today we shall be taking a look at the role of the Freedom of Information Bill in this regard. And my guest, who is the editor for Front Magazine online newspaper, 1997 award winner, best behaved journalist, NUJ City Council treasurer, and former secretary of the NUJ Cross River State Council, former national ex-official Zone D of the Nigeria Union of Journalists, and former business editor, New Nigerian newspaper, Cobham, will shed more light on the topic. It's nice to have you in our studio.
Thank you very much, and good viewers.
All right, I would like to start on a softer note. What is the position about irresponsible journalism? At what point would you say journalism is irresponsible?
This is quite interesting, taking it from that point. Rather, I want to look at it from the point of what is responsible journalism. Okay. Then after that, when you have a flip side of it, then you understand what is that. Responsible journalism is about reporting facts truly and accurately, ensuring that there's humanity in your reportage, ensuring that there is fairness and impartiality, being unbiased in your reportage, and accountability. As a journalist, you must be accountable for what you report. You must be able to take responsibility for the things you are putting out there for the public to read or to view. So when you flip it over, if you don't have all these, if your reportage is not factual, it is not accurate, it is not responsible, there's no humanity in it, then that is what I will say is irresponsible journalism.
Now let's talk about the Freedom of Information Bill. How is this helping?
I don't think we are using it enough. We sang about it when the thing was not passed, but now how many media organizations are using it? Except for a few CSOs that are using it and a few media organizations too that are using it. But also there's also the challenge that even when you are asking for information, those government agencies are still, they are not yet attuned to the fact that there's a provision in the law now for them to release information to you. Okay. You know, in most of the memos you have in these agencies, there's that big restricted written on the memo. So the civil servant mentality is still information should be restricted. So there must be a conscious effort to train even the civil servant on the need for them to be in tune with that law, so that the media too, when we are asking for information, they should be able to get it out to us. But generally, I think there must be synergy, between the media, the government agencies, and the civil society organizations. There is a synergy for us to work together for that Freedom of FOI bill to be fully operational and successful for the intent of the law.
Okay, now before we talk about training for journalists and ethics, now let's talk about the issue of sustaining the profession itself. Now that anyone could pick up a phone and make a report, come up with a story, package a story, you could edit and do everything on your phone. And some other persons that are not even trained in that profession could do that. So how can we help the profession itself? How can we sustain it?
That's an interesting one. Whether we like it or not, the journalism profession will sustain itself. Okay. Yes, it will sustain itself. It's only the challenge which we have, the emerging ones and the existing ones, that we have to deal with. And the traditional media is at risk. Okay. We are at risk because of the social media. And there must be a way out of it. And what is the way out of it? Ensuring that we do not also join the traditional media does not join the bandwagon of wanting to get it out there fast without getting it right. So if we get it out and then it is right, people will still be very much comfortable with the traditional media. But the complaint is that the traditional media seems to also be dovetailing into what the practices being obtained in the social media. But let me quickly also say that the NUJ, the media industry, the NUJ, the Guilds of Editor, the MPAN, there must be also a synergy for us to ensure that whatever we are doing is also that is regulated. We can't just allow it to go. When I hear people making comparison about Nigeria, China, and the rest, I say there are things that are done in China that you will not be able to accumulate it here in Nigeria. So most times when you make those comparisons, I don't buy into them because in China is restricted. In Nigeria is an all-common affair. All
right, before we talk about the way out, now let's talk about ethics and training for journalists. Very important.
The media organizations.
Yes.
Are they properly funded? Enough, apart from even the challenge you have in the government media? Do we have training? Not to talk of the training. Most people have been on the job for a long time, and I can tell you, apart from all these workshops and the rest, do we go for training? Can the media organization, can they fund it when most of them are not paying salaries?
Okay.
That is a serious challenge, and we must own up to it. We must be sincere about it. But you discover that you send a man on a beat, you will not pay him salary for months. So what do you expect him to come back with?
And he has bills to pay.
Definitely. A man will have to come back with what will interest you and what possibly also will make the paper sell. Because if you also want to write about developmental journalism, which is not quite interesting to the public, the Nigerian society is also part of the challenge. People want to see the awkward. They want to see the bizarre.
Yes.
They want to see the ones that they said, oh, the bad, the ugly, the good. Most people will trash it. So
what about ethics?
It has to also, aside from the media organization, it has to do with the individual journalists.
Okay.
Yeah. What are we doing about it? As a journalist, what are you doing about it? As the umbrella body of journalists, NUJ, I still remember in those days, we had the ethics committee that was very active. I happened to have served in Abuja Council, in one of them, and then when there are issues, when there are complaints, particularly there was this, I think, National Judicial Commission or so, brought a complaint against a journalist, which we had to deal with. So are those people or the organizations who are complaining, are they also approaching NUJ? I don't think so. They just come and complain outside and then it ends there. If you are sure that there is a problem with ethics or there's a problem with the reportage, that you are not being given fair reportage, or there's a skewed listening, take the matter up with the NUJ.
Okay.
And then see how but most times people will just be complaining, they will just be talking, but no action.
No action.
No action.
All right, Mr. Cobham, sir, this is the much I can take, really. It's interesting.
Thank you very much.
But we have to stop here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for your time.
I'm grateful.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, my dear.
Well, don't forget, always say the truth, share the truth, and please verify.